Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is TDT, the developing trader, coming back at you with your midweek check-in. So here we go. US dollar. Let's jump right into it. So we got a lot of bullish price action happening right now. Let's take a look at how it's moving through this gap. It is a lot more bullish than I expected. I want to see where this candle closes. We're basically printing barcodes here on a weekly, so we gotta stand back sometimes and look and let price tell us what does it want to do. After that really strong rejection yesterday, I did think we would have more bearish action today, but price says nope, I want to reach on back up here. So now I'm just kind of let's take a look at it and see what it does and let price develop and tell us what does it want to do at this point in time. Okay, so on a daily you can see we just we're a little off from this daily high. That's the day of February 9th. So once it taps that liquidity pool, we'll see if it does that in the next hour and a half. I want to see if we get a rejection or can it stretch its legs up here. Like I said before, I don't think we're going to get a candle close above this zone and then return back. Like here, if we get a candle close here above this price action right in here, I would be thinking more than likely we want to move up and go back into this range with this breaker right in here, and we want to see how price wants to interact with that. There was not expecting it to be this bullish, but we have to let price tell us where does it want to go. We can plan out our days, we can plan out our trades. Sometimes it may not go the way you want it to go right away, or a price suggests not do what you thought it would do, and you have to accept that you're wrong. Okay, so let's jump on into NASDAQ next. NQ, baby. Alrighty, and we got NQ here. So now what is happening here? Let's take a look. Let's look at a weekly real quick. Okay, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we have to let price tell us what it wants to do. Right now it looks to me like it wants to break down. If it wants to break down right now, the target I see is these equal lows that are sitting here, as well as right at this point right here. Okay, see that? Nothing. It looks like it tapped in, but it didn't tap in. I'm thinking in here and maybe into these gaps below here, but we'll have to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Okay. On a weekly, yeah, that right there is the liquidity pool that I'm seeing on a weekly. It could take a while to get there. This is another kind of equal low, but the thing about this is that there, it seems to me that price has already tapped it. Maybe it hasn't, but I think it's, see, if you bring it up real close, take a good look at it, you can see a little smidge right there, and this doesn't have that smidge. That right there, what I think will be our target if price wants to break down and start to break some of these gaps that we're seeing in price here. If we can get a body laid down here, then I would begin to start targeting these areas below and expect price to possibly even aggressively move to those areas in price. Okay, so right now price is sitting in this gap right here, and like I told you guys from early in the week, and even I think it was the beginning or the midpoint of last week, I did not expect for price to just go in one smooth move, go and break these lows. I thought it would be a little more back and forth, which we're getting over the last few days. You can see starting Monday, Tuesday here, Wednesday, this is basically consolidation right in here where it's kind of turning that corner, but it created this gap that we can see that price is starting to reject here. There's a lot of very thin price in this area that it may want to continue to balance. Right in here you can see it's just a lot of gaps. So it has all these gaps here that you can see prices respecting at the moment, and we want to see going into tomorrow. Does price turn over from this area? I believe it'll open up, reach back in here, and we'll see what kind of strength, or and if it rejects again, then we would start targeting not all the way to the low, but to the quadrants here. EQ of this wick right here is what we would look for tomorrow. If it, let's say price open, we get a move up and then it rejects, I would be looking firstly at the liquidity from today, but also targeting the quadrants on this gap here. You know, price is just real sticky right now. You have to be careful with it. I know you want to have large targets, but right now you can see it's a lot of back and forth. Okay, so continue to protect your capital. I'm only going to do NQ now moving forward, so I could get more into it and just focus just in on this one asset. And I'll do dollar and NQ, and that'll make the videos a little more easier to digest, and I'll probably be able to get into a lot more. Look at this price action, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a rough 2026. I know a lot of you are probably having a tough time because price has a tendency right now to reach and not complete. Like if you look at some of these run-ups, right? It reaches all the way up and it's an incomplete drive, and you may have your take profit sitting like above these areas in price, and price just keeps reaching and then pulling back and taking liquidity. So make sure you protect your capital, and I think things will get better as the year opens up and we get into March and April. Hopefully we can get more gravy days where we get a lot of price action going in one direction. Okay, so that's going to be me for the midweek check-in. I hope you guys continue to have a good week. Stay blessed, stay focused. Do not allow yourself to become unraveled by this market, okay? Remember to always protect your capital and stick to your strategy and stay disciplined. This is TDT. Y'all have a great one, okay? Peace.